Welcome to RED35, and today we have a special guest.
Hi, I'm Tarana. I'm from Pascal's Pendulum. You can find me on Pascal's Pendulum on Instagram.
Yeah, and today we're looking at this blogger camera, the EPL-9 by Olympus. This is the special limited blue edition. So Tarana, you are a blogger.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about, what do you blog about and things like that.
I started off blogging mainly about beauty, but over the years it's transitioned more into fashion. But I always do dabble into beauty. I love to travel, so I always love taking my camera and capturing the holidays and trips I go on. And yeah, that's basically what I blog about.
Okay, well, I think you kind of mentioned the point about camera.
Yes.
I think that I do notice, I don't blog often myself, but if I do blog about my kids and things like that, of course photography actually is a big part of it.
Yeah,
because
it's a very big part of it.
I used it to kind of like document things on that was happening on the day.
Yeah.
So is this something that you do usually as well? So what do you use the camera, if you go out and blog?
Well, if I'm fashion blogging, I usually have like a concept for the blog post I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I like to use the camera to help me capture the post I'm going for. Is it like a summer look, a winter look? Obviously it's summer now, so I'm really trying to get the lighting right and show how beautiful the sky is. Obviously not today, but normally it's a lot nicer.
Okay. But in terms of camera, obviously like you're blogging, you don't want to lug a very heavy set, so this is probably something that you would kind of use.
This is definitely something I would take. Obviously if it's fashion related, there's some sort of handbag involved that doesn't always,
and it looks trendy, isn't it?
You can't fit that many things, so having a camera this size is actually amazing and would work absolutely amazing in my day-to-day life.
And then I did say that this is the limited edition blue, which is actually kind of matching her jeans today. It's kind of like look at that.
That's so good.
That's so cool. That I'm a denim guy as well. Like this is really kind of my thing.
Actually, maybe I'm into denim too.
Maybe I should be a blogger. Just carry this every single day.
Blogger.
No, I think people will actually hate my writing. I'm pretty sure.
Well, I always thought that about myself, and then actually what I realized was the more I blogged and the more I got into the way I like to write, it wasn't obviously like grammatically
so
perfect,
you're not really writing for someone else, you're kind of writing for yourself.
I like to, what I would like to read if I was going to read a blog. That's what I write about, and it's always worked out that people like the same things as me, and it works out that way. Actually,
that's kind of speaks my language in a way in photography, because I'm not photographing for other people. I'm photographing using my style, my vision. So people buy into my look, my vision, my So yeah, that's pretty good. So in terms of like a blogging cameras, is there anything that you kind of look for specifically? Like I know you already mentioned about the size and how the portability and things like that.
Unlike you, I have very limited knowledge when it comes to cameras. I mean, I can take a nice photo, but I wouldn't be able to like tweak the settings and stuff like that. So having a camera that can do like the automatic version for me is exactly what I need, because I don't know that much and I don't really have the time to really spend to learn like the little nitpickety things. So having that be able to help me take a really great photo from the beginning is such a bonus.
Cool. Well, I'm definitely going to go into a little bit more detail about each mode, so you can find out how useful this camera actually is, because like you said, if you got limited knowledge, this will definitely help you. So shall we dig into it a little bit more?
Yes, please.
So Tarana, you wanted to like a camera that with basically some automatic features.
Yes.
So you don't have to know about photography. So I guess when you look at something like this, you'll be quite happy. Something like this, totally iconic. Yeah, basically you just have different modes, you know, that you know exactly what you want to do. You know, like the people shot, you can do some night shot, food, which we're going to do something. Especially when you're a blogger, I guess, you know, I don't know, I mean, you don't blog about food though, do you? Or you
I do blog a little bit about food.
Yeah, so you will take some kind of like a close-up shots of the food and things like that.
Yeah.
So I guess this is kind of like the most general use modes that it has. I think it kind of covers almost anything that you might encounter. And then also this camera also has some other features as well, like the advanced photo, which is actually very good. You know, like if you come into it, you can see this. I don't know, if you do a bit of traveling, because you mentioned you do a little bit of travel photography, so sometimes you may want to do a panoramic shot.
Yes.
And then some other thing like HDR, and these are really cool, awesome stuff, you know. Like, but this is something you might want to dig in a little bit. But the good thing about this camera is when you switch onto advanced photo mode, it will explain what it is.
That's what I need.
Yeah, so it basically you don't have to really learn it. And it's actually almost like fully automatic. So all you need, you know, is just a stable.
Choose the mode,
Choose the mode, have a stable platform to put the camera on, and all you need to just press the trigger.
That is exactly what I need.
Yeah. I think it's pretty good. You know, like, even for me, sometimes, you know, even though I'm a professional photographer, but sometimes, let's say if I'm traveling with family, I really actually want to take that thinking away from me as well. You know, like, you know, it sounds like a lazy way of doing things, but you know, when you are actually operating a camera on a 24/7 basis, when you actually want to switch off, while still want to take photos, and I think this is actually quite a good automatic
accessible
thing.
Like, I feel like I could take some great photos, like especially because there's so much explanation. I can like judge what I'm doing and then pick the right mode.
And also if you look at the actual sample photo, you know, kind of give you the sense of things that, oh wow, maybe I can do that as well.
It's like, oh, maybe I can do that.
Yeah, cool. So maybe we can try some of these in a minute and just see what it looks like. That'll be interesting. Oh, by the way, you do Instagram?
I do.
Yeah. Do you use filters?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, this is a good thing though for Instagram, because it has loads of filters, which can switch on to the art thing. Yeah, you actually have all kinds of, well, they call it the creative effects, but you can actually have all kinds of filters going on automatically built in.
Oh, wow.
And then so you can actually do some quite amazing stuff with it. Of course, you can also further tweak it, you know, after taking the photos, which is actually quite cool as well. And if you're feeling adventurous after a while, when you getting a little bit more advanced, you know, and things like that, you can actually override all this stuff by going into more dedicated mode. Like they do have the standard PASM, which is like, P is more like program mode, which kind of you can control certain aspect of the photography settings. And you have aperture priority, shutter speed priority, or if you are being a pro, you can go to full menu.
Oh wow.
And so there is a lot of things you can do. Or if you're just becoming a lazy man like me, you know, sometimes you can just go straight into automatic. And just let the camera does everything. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, and I think this is actually pretty good. And if you haven't seen our previous review on the Olympus EM10 Mark III, go and check it out. And this camera is essentially basically a recladded version of the EM10 Mark III with similar features, similar, same sensor and same processor, so actually produces the same image quality, which I really like about the EM10 Mark III also exists in this camera as well. So we're going to demonstrate that in terms of image quality in a bit.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm excited.
Well, let's talk about the build quality of this camera, and you probably know what I'm gonna say, so let the Tarana be the judge, you know. So have a feel of it, you know, like what do you think of the build quality of thing, you know, like how does it feel in the hand, whether it's solid or not, you know?
It feels solid. I definitely feel like with my lifestyle of taking them in and out of bags, traveling, going all over London, it definitely feels like it's going to hold up.
Yeah.
And
you don't do any violent stuff to it though?
No violent stuff, as much as possible. Only when I can't get the right shot, but I'm sure with this I will be having no issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels really sturdy. I love the design, and Yeah, I don't see any issues with it.
Yeah, about weight, how about weight? You know, like, do you think it's okay or a bit heavy or?
It has a weight to it, which I think shows its quality, but it's definitely not something that I would be like, oh wow, I don't want to carry this around with me because it's too heavy. I think if it was too light, I think I'd be like, ooh, I feel like I'm gonna like break this or something.
Yeah, well, the thing is, being a, this is an interchangeable camera, so which means you can change lenses on it. So at the moment it has this kit lens, which is a pancake lens, which is actually quite suitable for probably what you do.
Yes.
So the weight wise, if you hold it, this is actually quite nice and balanced. But what if you start throwing something like this into it? You probably make it
Whoa.
and then it will make the whole thing look and feel very, very different indeed. Let's try this. Yeah.
Oh wow! I feel more professional now, though. I feel like I could take some animal photos or
That's
something.
Cool. Well, so what I'm trying to say is, this thing is built for smaller lenses.
Yeah.
And because now you probably, what you're doing now, you have to hold it with two hands.
Yeah.
It's not something with a big enough grip for you to kind of like hold it.
But it's amazing that you can have that lens and then you can go to this at the same time. Like,
on the whole Micro Four Thirds platform, it has over 40 lenses you can choose from. So it's actually pretty flexible. So like the camera, this particular blue edition comes with this little pancake lens, which is actually quite versatile already. It kind of has an equivalent of 24 to 84 millimeters, which is actually quite a good travel range. So you can do close up, you can do wide shot, and you can do a little bit of macro shots. So it's actually quite good for foodies and things like that, and of course, if you're feeling a little bit adventurous, you can always go for the bigger lens,
Yes, I love the fact that I could just take this one camera with me and I could have so many different lenses rather than taking like 5 different cameras.
Oh yeah,
it's just so much better. No, but like in this situation, I would be with my 5 cameras, but this is so much better. I didn't realize that it was possible to do this.
Well, we're gonna demonstrate, like the versatility of this, by going to the different mode, more physical demonstration later, try different lenses on this camera so you can see the image quality. We can come into it in a minute. So but in terms of feeling, you do like it,
Yes, I really like it.
Feeling solid, is not going to break anytime soon.
No, I feel like we would get on very well. Yeah.
This one just a normal portrait, so we were trying to use the biggest aperture to blur the background out.
Yeah.
And then this one is the e-portrait, so it will actually smoothen the skin out.
Oh wow!
It's actually pretty cool. Yeah. So it's calculating, and then it's come up. Look at that!
Wow! I so need that.
It's built in.
Perfect skin forever.
This is cool.
Wow!
I just realized that. That's pretty awesome.
That's amazing.
So then you can also just select other things, which when you're walking down a path.
Yeah.
I also did this as well. The portrait with landscape, with surroundings. So we were trying to use a slightly small aperture to get a little bit more of the back surrounding in focus, rather than blurring everything out. So so like I say, it's very self-explanatory with all the descriptions there.
Yeah, there's so many different options.
You don't have to learn too much about aperture, shutter speed. It's all trying to calculate everything for you.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
It's amazing. Wow, these photos look really amazing.
I know, I took them. Well, no, the image quality is actually not bad at all from this camera, and if you haven't checked out, the EM10 Mark III that I did review on, I really love the image file from that one, and this is no exception. This is exactly the same thing as that, and it has the latest Olympus sensor and also the Olympus engine, which is the TruePic 8.
Wow.
Processing engine, which actually resulting in very nice and punchy colors. You saw the colors. It's actually
I love the colors.
Very nice, and the autofocus are very good, very fast. You did try the touchscreen.
Yep, I
focus,
did. It was very fast.
Very snippy. Very
there was no lag at all.
Yeah, that was really awesome. And I think in general, that was really good. And for a 16 megapixel camera, and I think it's really, really good. And I think it's plenty enough for a blogger like yourself.
Yep.
You probably don't know much about megapixels.
No, I don't.
Right, let me put you in perspective. So what sort of thing you use the images for? You know, like where do you share them? You know,
mainly my blog or Instagram.
Yeah,
maybe
so
Facebook.
You don't print them?
I don't print them at all. No, everything is digital.
So this is something I actually do want to let people understand a little bit about megapixels. You know, not in terms of the numbers, but more in terms of what you use it for. I always say you get the right tool for the right jobs. You know, like for me professionally, I shoot higher megapixel counts because I need to print them.
Yeah.
And also depending on what sort of situation I will use a different camera for that particular thing as well. And for you, like a travel blogger, beauty blogger, fashion blogger, like you said, you share files digitally.
Yes.
There's no prints involved, so that means you don't really need a very high resolution cameras because first it will slow down your thing because files are bigger.
Yes.
Difficult to handle, difficult to share, and this is smaller files is actually better for you.
Yes.
As long as it looks great on screen, in your case,
yes,
that's a killer.
And all my audience only see it on a screen, so they're not printing it either.
Yeah, and also give you some sort of example, like 16 megapixel is kind of way more than enough for what you see on a 4K TV.
Wow.
And for Instagram, you don't even need that high resolution.
No,
and 4K screen, you only need 8 megapixels, thereabout.
Wow.
And to make it look nice.
That's amazing.
So that means 16 is plenty enough.
Yeah, this is plenty enough for me.
Even in the future, in a couple of years' time, when we have 8K TV, even that will still be enough. So in terms of digital content, this is perfect.
Yes. So throughout today we've been taking lots of photos and I've been thinking about getting into vlogging.
Yeah.
Does this camera take video?
Yes, it does. It's something I actually haven't mentioned too much about it, but in fact it's actually quite a good video camera. It obviously doesn't have the pro features like the flagship cameras does, but in terms of general vlogging or just videoing small clips and things like this is actually very capable because it does 4K.
Oh really?
Yeah, it does 4K in 30 frames per second, so it's actually pretty good. So you get high resolution.
Yeah, that's what I'd be looking
you put
for.
high quality lenses on it, you can get really sharp images. I mean, like videos, footage.
Yep.
It does also 1080 Full HD in 30 and 60 frames per second, so you can do half speed. But if you really fancy that slow motion thing, which a lot of vloggers kind of like as well, it does do that as well.
Oh,
so it does the in 720, so it's kind of like a not quite Full HD, but in HD mode, 720p in 120 frames per second, so which is plenty slow.
Yep.
So it's actually quite capable.
Oh, that's
and it can mix and match of the footage, and it does produce the same colors that you saw on the screen. And you can actually also select the art filter, the effect that you saw in the photos, in the video.
Oh wow.
So once you select the color tones that you like, you can have the whole the video footage look exactly like that.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so you can do black and white, funky colors and things like that as well, so pretty cool.
I think I'm gonna have to get into vlogging now, for sure.
Yeah, getting into vlogging. I like vlogging. Oh, having said that though, there's one more thing that it doesn't accept any mic input, so that means you can't put a mic on top of it. That's probably, I don't know how important that is, but you can do what we do, just put a mic on and just sync it back afterward.
I think the vlogging I would be doing, I wouldn't be using a mic, I just use the internal
mic. Yeah, actually that's something I do see a lot of vloggers do.
Yeah.
I know that people always say they want to get better audio, put a big mic on top of it, and but I do see a lot of vloggers just using internal mics.
Yeah.
Because they usually stay indoor, for instance.
Yeah.
There's not much wind noise there.
Or you just don't vlog in the wind, really.
And I have to praise Olympus. Actually, their mics are actually quite good.
Yes?
Tracy says that. She likes the internal mic on the EM1.
Oh wow, that's interesting to know.
Yeah, maybe we should get rid of all this professional equipment, just use the internal mic. No, she will kill me.
No.
So there are a couple of things I want to talk about this camera as well, on top of the image quality and anything else, is that it does have a little flash there.
Oh really?
Yeah, there's a little button there where you can just press it and it'll pop out.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So and also you can kind of tilt it up. You know, the reason I want to use that sometime is to bounce off the ceiling to get you a softer light in indoor. And also when you're doing a selfie mode, when you're kind of like, you know, like doing a self, and it adds the kind of like a quite nice.
Right at you.
Yeah, the distance is actually quite good for the little flashlight that you can do the fill light and also give you a little spark in the eye sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's quite useful, but you know, it's obviously not as good as the dedicated flash unit where you can have a more powerful for outdoor shoots.
But for like what I would use, that's exactly what I.
Yeah, or sometimes just lit up the food and things like in front of you. It's quite
super dark restaurant.
Quite good for that.
Still gonna get that shot.
Yeah, I know. But apart from that as well, I want to talk about is the battery, which I'm gonna just swing it open now. It uses the same battery as the EM10 Mark III, by the way, and as you can tell, it's a tiny thing.
It's not very big.
Which can only mean one thing. Not
great life.
No, it doesn't last that long, to be honest. And if you use the flash, shoot videos, you know, and then that will drain the battery quite quickly. So you probably, on average, if you're just doing photos, you probably get about 300 shots, which is okay for casual, you know, use. But if you do like travel vlogging, for instance, you know, like you would take more than 300. You know, from like early morning until late at night. Then that would mean that you probably want to carry like two to three batteries for the whole day.
Yeah.
And that might also mean that you need to maybe invest in another charger so you can charge two batteries overnight.
Does it not use a portable charger?
No, unfortunately it doesn't.
Oh.
You know, the USB port that's in the camera is only for transferring files.
Oh, right.
And so it doesn't allow you to, you know, do the charging, which is, I think, something that Olympus really should actually maybe upgrade in the future.
I take my portable charger everywhere, and all my other devices I'm charging when I need to.
So do I. You know, I think as a modern kind of digital content creator these days, you know, like we all have a power bank, and it would be very useful just to, you know, have something that can top up the battery while you're traveling from location to location.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that would mean that you always keep your battery fresh, and you can keep shooting.
Yeah, you don't want to sacrifice on shots because you don't have enough battery left.
No, and that would mean that you probably only need one battery.
Yep.
You know, that's a big plus. You know, as a traveler, you don't want to like always have too many batteries in your bag.
Exactly.
And you have to charge all of them overnight. You know, that can be a hassle.
That can be a very serious hassle.
But having said that, though, you know, I do like the camera. You know, I think it produces quite some stunning images.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see the photos.
And despite being a, you know, only a 60 megapixel cameras, you know, it really is the right tool for the right job, especially for bloggers like yourself, even for like young families, you know, like for someone who likes to share the content digitally.
Yes.
Yep.
Even when sharing photos with my family, everything is over the internet these days.
Don't they print them as well? They just view them on screen?
On the screen.
Wow.
High-tech people. Yeah.
Modern day young people. Yeah, younglings, you know, I'm the dinosaur. Kind of like, I'm probably a similar age to this church. But anyway, so I actually think that people do have some misunderstanding about megapixel these days, especially people who are just starting out in photography. They always think the numbers higher the better, but for most of people out there these days, especially for the younger vloggers and also content creators, they care about the screen presence more than actual printed material. And that would mean that, you know, unless you are a professional photographer who actually print albums, posters and things like for your clients, you don't really need a high megapixel count, you know, things, you know, and something like this is actually definitely useful.
It's so useful.
There you go.
I'm so glad I had a chance to have a whiz with it.
Oh, by the way, it has a touchscreen. She likes it.
Oh, I love the touch screen. It's so big.
And very responsive.
Yeah, really responsive. Yeah, absolutely love it.
I still prefer the EVF though, or the viewfinder. She calls it the eye hole. Yeah, she calls it the eye hole.
Shows how much I know about camera.
You know, I really did struggle. You know, every time I pick up the camera, I always try to put it up on my eye because I'm so used to that. But she's natural for these things.
Yep, this is how I learned with the screen.
It just shows my age.
Yeah. Well, you have pros in other places.
Yeah, I may have a few lines, a few white hair.
Photos that you take outweigh the fact that you don't really like the screen.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. No. Even though I couldn't quite see what I was taking.
Well, in the sun, I guess that could be a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
But if you get used to it.
I get used to it. So I hope you liked the video you just saw, and remember to subscribe our channel for future updates and click the bell button as well so you know when we have a new video coming out. And thank you, Tarana.
Thank you for having me.
For coming out and so, showing me how to do my proper selfie blue steel thing.
You've got it really good.
Yeah, but having said that though, I think it does suit you more.
Oh, thank you so much.
And yeah, it certainly fit your
home with me.
denim outlook. And then yeah, I think that I'm maybe a little bit too old to be a blogger.
No, you could be a blogger.
You think so?
Definitely. You've got it.
I'm going to be one of the oldest bloggers in the world.
I think you might be okay. Yeah, I think there might be older ones than you.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not sure about that. But anyway, thank you. And until next time, bye. So welcome back to the week and look at this, the new coming. So welcome to RED35, and today we have a special guest.
Hi, I'm Tarana from Pascal's Pendulum. You can find me at Pascal's Pendulum on Instagram.
Did you record? When I hold this camera, I actually do feel like I'm blue steel. Not blue steel, Zoolander.
Zoolander?
Yeah.
It suits you.
I feel fashionable.
If I thought of a camera, that's the camera I would probably think of. Like you on holiday, making that face.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I feel more sexy actually.
That's always a plus.
Yeah, I know my wife won't say the same thing, but then. Right, are we ready?
Hello.
Hello, hello. What are you doing?
Hello.
Oh, you are being a guy. Oh boy.
There we go.
Is it a girl? Boy. Oh, it's a girl. Sorry,
Go.
I can't tell. So let's talk about the image. Well, not image quality, build quality. Okay, one more time. Yes, I double check again. It's recording. Say something.
Hello?
Yeah, good. There you go. But again, it's for younger generation like yourself. Not me.
You're doing pretty well with it. Took some pretty amazing photos.
Of course, that's me. I'm very up myself when it comes to images.
Wow.
Wow. I hope. I like that. I do like that. That's a good nickname. All right. We should name our channel called iHole. All right. Okay. Making sure. Double check. I'm pretty sure it's still recording. Yeah, still recording. Okay, I'm ready. So, you can get away with the charger. You can basically always top up your camera battery while you're traveling in between locations.
Yeah.
So it could be quite useful. For instance, yes, definitely. Jeez.
I think they were after someone. So it's 3 motorbikes. Yeah.
Not me.
Not me.
Not me. It's quite busy, this road. It's got lots of cars coming in and out.
Yeah, it's quite busy now. What that's about?
Yes, lots of cars and everyone's staring at us.
I mean, there's a massive camera pointed at us.